Welcome back to Recoup. Today is Monday, December 15th, 2025. I'm Sweets. This is Sid. We're in the last couple weeks of 2025, kicking it off on our Monday call where we talk about what we're delivering for this week. I am focused on API keys, email client, and text client. For API keys, I'll share the latest docs, and that will inform. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Cool. So the docs have been updated. We no longer accept an account ID parameter. We have removed that in favor of our fancy new API keys. If you don't know anything about the API keys, we have a getting started section that is linked anywhere that we're using API keys to tell you how to get to and manage and include your API keys. All these docs are vibe code ready. Now that this is live for both streaming and generating of text. It's been updated in the docs and at the API level, and I'm working through right now updating our own client to use that. This isn't stated in the docs, I have not deprecated the use of account ID. The reason being, every third-party dev right now built on Recoup is using account ID and they're not using API keys. Two examples that come to my mind instantly are Big Ass Kids that you built and Excellencia that I built. So eventually I will want to deprecate that because that is a security vulnerability where anybody can just get an account ID and then use our API. But I wanted to give you a heads up and myself a heads up so that we can update both of those implementations to use API keys before I deprecate that so that I don't break your experience proactively.
Good idea. Let me know the week in which you plan on doing that so I can force function me to fix the Big Ass Kids one.
Copy. For now, it's not it's more of a cleanup. We're not sharing that that's a thing anymore. So unless you're watching this video or you're an existing build, you're not gonna know about it, but it is a security vulnerability that we will want to plug. We'll want to plug it. The rest of this week, I've just realized that I need to allow for organizational API keys. So I'll fix that so that way we can allow, if you've selected an active org when you create or when you view or create your API keys, it'll create it in the org instead of in your personal account. And so then anybody that has that org selected and goes to keys should see the same list of API keys. You can't see it because after you create the key, nobody has access to that except the person that created it. But anybody in the org will at least be able to see the full running list of all the API keys, just like we do when we go to OpenAI or anywhere else. Deleting the front end usage here. This is the same change we'll need to make in Excellencia and Big Ass Kids. Delete the usage of account ID and update it by using an API key. Need to fix the missing params. There were parameters that we were using in our API chat that was not documented. That includes email, artist instructions, time zone, I think organization ID, and then there were a couple others. So I deleted those because they weren't referenced in the docs. The ones that I deleted on my side, we can get in other ways. And so this ticket is for me to go back and get those params. The one that we won't be able to automatically pull is organization ID. And so the main question I have for you is, how is it being used? Why wasn't it documented? Is it something that needs to get added back in? And then handle chat completion, query. Oh yeah, this is another file that when I used the schema, it saw that we were using this email param that we've been trying to deprecate. So I just need to make sure that both of these files have been updated and fixed based off of the new, more strict schema in our chat API. With that, the goal is to get this done ASAP. Hopefully I'll get all this done today. And if I do get this done today, these tickets, then I'll shift focus over to the email client, which is going to be replying to emails, maintaining a conversation for a thread in an email.
Question.
I'll pass it over to Sid.
Okay, cool. Question. How do you want the organization ID param to work?
I don't have a preference. I didn't build it and I don't know what the use case is for putting in an organization ID there. What is your reasoning for including an organization ID in the chat request?
In the event No, there is none for now. I guess it will always be a user. Um, or actually, no. I'll say this. Um, in the event that I build something for an organization, um, to not use my credits. To use the organization's credits.
In that case, the API key that they're using should be an organization, and so we should be pulling credits from that org and not from a personal account.
Correct.
How I saw it being used was for system prompt, for pulling an org system prompt, and that should be the exact same.
Correct.
When they send in their organizational API key, we look up, it's an org, we pull in the system prompt, the custom instructions for that account, whether it's a human account or an organizational account. We get those instructions, inject those into the system prompt.
Agree.
So far, it seems we don't need to replace the organizational ID. It will be handled in my API key updates. And I just need to make sure that if an organizational API key is passed in and it has instructions, that should follow the same logic, but I have not verified, so I'll look that up.
Okay, cool.
Any other questions or pushback on the
So
current correct?
I don't need to do anything?
Currently, no action required on your side.
Okay, cool. All right, great. The other thing is I'm currently running this trigger. Okay, actually, let me just run you through what I'm doing. Okay, cool. I need to fix org files in knowledge base are not being recognized by the system prompt currently. I don't know if that's is because of what you're doing right now or not. Is it?
You say files are not being recognized in the chat?
Org file, yes. Org knowledge base files are not being recognized in the chat.
Is that a new bug as of today?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from me. We were passing knowledge base files from the front end. We shouldn't need to. Those should be associated with the API key and account ID. So that'll be something that I fix in my third ticket that I showed you later today.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So that was something I was going to fix, but I don't need to. So sweet. All right, cool. What I'm realizing is I need an easy way to see the costs and credits used for each run per model. So what I've been doing is I'm running currently a long run for this haystack customer, and I'm doing it in chat, and then I set it up in tasks. But I'm doing it in a way where like I set it up in chat, and then use like Opus 4.5, like the best model, the most expensive one, to see like to get it working in chat. And then from there, once I know it works and we get a successful run a couple times, then I start doing tests with cheaper models. And I start at like GPT-4, 4 mini quick or whatever. And it usually fails, but then I keep going up and up and up and up. And so like I'm trying, like I know it works, but now let's see like how cheap can we make this run? And what I'm realizing is that it's been hard to really dial in without some kind of like easy way to manage our at costs. Like I have to go into like the credits of the AI gateway and like find it. And it takes me more time to like figure out how much a run costs than it should. Whereas the AI gateway or the AI elements has that context component where you can click it and it tells you exactly how much context you're using and how much it costs per AI gateway. And I want to implement that. But what I'm realizing is that I don't want to implement that across every customer because they don't want them to see our costs. What I want to do is implement it in like with just like me and you for like a super admin email or something. So we only can see that. But then we can use the component later, like to show credits or context management or whatever. So anyways, I say all that to say, if I wanted to set up a super admin for me and you based on like our account is able to see all more information than everybody or get into orgs or have access to, things like that. Was that a table thing or is that like, how would you go about that?
We already have a lib for is test email. I would just use that is test email for your super admin check.
But if I put super admin as a lib that then lives in a public repo, so anybody can see my email, which is a super admin, and then pretend I'm a super admin, correct? Pretend
They already can see that email. You're worried about them being able to. You're worried about someone cloning the code base and then running it locally and seeing that?
Yeah, but they wouldn't be able to sign in.
Right? They wouldn't have all of our API keys. So if they run it locally and they hook it up to their own database, sure, they can do that. But I don't know how that would help them.
Yeah, I understood. Okay, so you're saying just use it as a test email. Test emails can see that component and then see the context manager. All right, cool.
For that, though, are you hoping it gives you information on previous messages or your next message?
It could be next message, whatever's easiest.
Okay. I believe the context component is going to tell you if you send this message, here's how much context you're filling and here much it's going to cost, not for this specific message, here's how much it actually cost you. I think it's a before you send it and not historical messages, if I understand the component correctly.
I don't think so. I think it's how much context has currently been used in this chat so far. And like it fills up a circle as you're using it with context. And then it says total costs at the bottom. I'll implement it and we'll see, because I don't even it's a component, so I don't even know if it's connected to anything actually, and we might be able to do that itself. But that's one thing I'm focused on, so that I can really dial in and be like, this is how much this run costs with this model for us, and then for the user. And then there's a couple other things that I'm working on. I'm onboarding APG. They have 5 artists that I'm doing. I realized that while our agent run, or while our create artists run is great, it now is missing the puzzle piece that I add on, which is create style guides for each artist. And so I've been debating whether to do that manually or just build out a tool to create style guides. And then those are the main things that we're on. But I know we're at time, so I'll call it there.
We will see you on Wednesday for our midweek check-in.
Woo!
There it is. Open up there.